Time to get inspired, develop, and improve your yoga knowledge in English. You listen to Your Yoga in English, a podcast for non-native English-speaking yogis that want to practice or teach yoga worldwide. My name is Annie, the founder of Enga Unite, and here to guide you on your way to become the confident, effective, and knowledgeable English-speaking yogi you want to be. Today's training is a little bit of a story, an insight, something that I discovered along the way. And let's start with a question, because the training today of our weekly life is what I wish I had known before I became a yoga teacher. Over the past months, I had a lot of reflections, and this was because we started the English for Yoga Teachers course. And I started working with new teachers onto the course, so that started working with us on the membership. That gave me a lot of feedback that reminded me of my own journey. It reminded me of the struggles I had been through, the challenges that I experienced. And I thought, you know what? All of our journeys are very unique, very individual. Every individual's experience is unique. But the challenges and the struggles that we face, the things that we have to deal with, are actually really similar. So that inspired me to speak about that today and to share this with you. Because as you become a yoga teacher and you don't have a lot of other yoga teachers around you, especially if you became a yoga teacher during the time of COVID and you did your training online, this might be something that you have experienced as well. And I want you to know that you're not alone. I want you to know that you're not alone on this journey. The challenges and the struggles and the barriers and the obstacles are common and very similar to the people that we work with, the people that are in our community, and possibly people that you already know, but you haven't spoken to about this specifically, okay? Or if you're listening to this on the podcast, become a member of the Teach Yoga and English support group, because this is where you can meet the other yogis, the other people that are in our community. So it's a Teach Yoga and English support group on Facebook. So becoming a yoga teacher for many is a very transformational experience. It's not only the new studies and the knowledge and the practices and the people that you meet, but also the way that we are required to do a lot of introspection, and that we find out things about ourselves that we wish we had known before. And in this training, I will share with you what I wish I had known before. And I hope that if you experience the same things, it inspires you to actually share this with the people around you or seek support if you need it. And it's true, a lot of us start to practice to minimize stress or to find ways to worry less and to sleep better. It could be that you were advised by a health professional to recover from an injury, or that you were like me, very basic, looking for a physical activity to stay lean and fit. So if you were like me, maybe you were looking for a way to just stay lean, to stay very flexible and thin, or slim and fit. So at some point in your practice, you got hooked and you learned to deal with the daily struggles. You learned how that yoga taught you to stay calm when things got hard. And you noticed that apart from the physical feeling better, your mindset also shifted. And maybe that your relationships improved, the relationship with yourself and the relationships with the people around you. With more time, you probably noticed that you could let go of the past and that you could accept the present, and that you were okay with the unknown of the future. So the uncertainty of what the future will bring. And it might be that you let go of toxic relationships or toxic habits that weren't helping you any longer, and that you started to focus on your purpose in life, your personal purpose in life. And by this point, you have been, and especially the people that have practiced for a while, the people that are already teachers, You've been through a major transformation, and you might have started to feel the urge to start to share this practice to help others feel and experience the same. So you started considering doing your yoga teacher training. And all our journeys are unique. All our experiences are influenced by many different factors. Now, the journey that I just described is a very typical journey from being a student to becoming a teacher. Yoga brought you the transformation and you wanted to spread it with others. It doesn't have to be this exact same journey, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhat like this. So that's when yoga teacher training becomes so appealing for many of us. And soon you start to consider to do this, or even start your own yoga teacher training, or maybe another one and another one. Now, earlier this year, I think it was this year, I spoke about choosing your yoga teacher training. And there are many different things to bear in mind. So if you are about to take your yoga teacher training, if this is your next step, I highly recommend that you read our blog. It's called How to Choose Your Yoga Teacher Training. And we also have a podcast episode that is called How to Choose Your Yoga Teacher Training. The podcast is called Your Yoga in English. You can find it on Spotify and Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all the platforms. So have a look if that's where you are at right now. But today I want to speak about the things that I didn't know but wish I had known before becoming a yoga teacher. And the fact that nobody could give or at that time gave me the answers to these things. At this time in my journey, I didn't know many other yogis. I didn't know many other teachers. And I didn't know of all the things that were going on behind the scene. So I really hope that this training will help you get some insight into everything that happens behind the scene and happens behind the job as a teacher, or behind the job or behind the scenes of your career as a yoga teacher, especially as an international yoga teacher. So I'm going to share some answers that I needed to hear all those years ago. And I aim for you, my intention of this training for you, it is to stop making the same mistakes or having to deal with the same obstacles. And then after this, you will not be ever thinking, I wish I had known that before. Okay? So first of all, there are some things that you need to know about me. First of all, there are things that I wish or that I want you to know about me. And it might be surprising or might not be surprising at all, depending on who you are and what you know about me already. There were 5 things. So number 1, I was very embarrassed of my teaching voice. And it stopped me from teaching for the entire first year after completing my YTT, so my yoga teacher training. I didn't teach at all for the first year after my yoga teacher training. Then number 2 that I want you to know about me is that I didn't know how to express myself in English as a yoga teacher, especially when speaking about anatomy or technicality or things that I hadn't studied before, things that were very challenging for me, or things that I thought I didn't know enough about. So I didn't know how to express myself as an English-speaking yoga teacher. Then point number 3, I didn't have the courage, I didn't have the guts, as they could say in an expression, I didn't have the courage or the guts to apply for a job at a yoga studio or yoga center because I didn't value my own ability and the skills. I didn't see the point because I wasn't an English speaker. Obviously, I did speak English and I already taught English, but I wasn't a native speaker, and I really felt embarrassed or undervalued and really doubted my ability and skills to teach at a studio or at a center. Then point number 4, after my yoga teacher training, I dealt with extreme self-doubt. And I think that reflects all the other points from before. I dealt with extreme self-doubt and frustration because of feeling so incapable of teaching yoga, but having a really strong passion for it. So having a really strong urge to actually wanting to share this, but feeling incapable at the same time. And I truly believe that people would not want to go to my classes or come to my classes or come back to my classes. So a lot of self-doubt, a lot of frustration. Point number 5, one thing of things that I want you to know about me is that even after obtaining my 500-hour yoga teacher training, every mistake I made caused me to doubt my knowledge and my experience. So by that time, I had at least 3 years of experience. More maybe. And I had a lot of different trainings, a lot of different teaching experiences, but I still got really frustrated with myself for making mistakes, which caused me to doubt my experience and my knowledge. So what does this say about me? It may display insecurity and low self-esteem, perfectionism, and putting myself under a lot of pressure. And all of this to reach unrealistic goals and expectations of myself. But I think that my experience is very common. And I think it's the perfect example of most other yoga teachers, specifically non-native English-speaking yoga teachers or multilingual yoga teachers. They are very common, and I'm pretty sure that at least one of these things are one of the things that you experience as well. But your insecurities, the fears and the self-doubt, the low self-esteem are not because of the teaching skills that you may or may not have. All of these fears, the thoughts that come to your mind, the things that stop you are not because of the skills that you have or that you don't have. For example, I already had excellent skills and knowledge for teaching yoga, which I had been developing for a long time. The problem was that I didn't have the confidence or opportunities to put them into practice and help myself develop in these aspects. So I needed to take on the challenge of trying something new in order to use these skills for my career. But then a lot of teachers think when they get to this stage, they have skills, they have knowledge, they don't have the practice. A lot of teachers at this point think, how do I find these practices? How do I get these opportunities? And how do you do this when you feel this self-doubt and this low self-esteem, when that's what you are experiencing, when you're looking for it at the same time? All of these things are kind of counter-effective. They don't really work well together. So the fears and the doubts that I experienced started in childhood. And they started when I was at school and learning by a school system that was standardized. A school system that believes in one size fits all and doesn't really tailor to each individual's needs. I failed my oral exams, my English oral exams, and I thought that I would be terrible at English forever. I was convinced that learning English wasn't for me. And I felt really judged, misunderstood, and most of all, incapable of doing this. But then when I moved abroad, I think I was 18. I was 18 when I moved abroad, and I moved to Aruba, an island to the Caribbean, to learn English, to improve English. And I wanted to express myself and my personality. And I realized that the school materials and the teaching methodology that I was used to weren't helping me at all, not at all, to learn what I actually needed. What I actually needed was very different from what was in the textbooks or the things that I needed to know for my exams. They didn't prepare me to use the language that I needed when you live in a place, or in our example, when we teach yoga. So I had to find a new way of learning, a way that suited me personally, and I started to use English independently. Now, finding your own way of learning can be a little bit of a challenge if you have no idea where to start, because we're very used to what the system has told us, what our school systems have told us, and we might not know that there are different ways, different learning techniques. that do see your personal learning style and your personal learning preferences. So if you want to know about this, if you want to know what your learning style is and how you can adapt your learning journey to what you really need, I highly recommend you check out another blog, which is called Your Learning Style is Unique. And there are quizzes there that can help you find out what you actually need and how to do this. On the continuing education membership, you as well find worksheets that can help you analyze all of this. And if you want help from me personally, just send me a message. Send me a message on Instagram, on Facebook, or an email at annie@engaunite.com, and I'm more than happy to help you with this. Has your childhood and your experience of school caused problems for learning in the past? And maybe how has it affected your limiting beliefs, the doubts, the things that you think about yourself? Maybe even the things that you believe are part of your identity, but aren't really true. It's not something that we are taught to do many times. So let me share with you what I really wish that both you and I knew before we became yoga teachers. So what I wish you and I had known before becoming a teacher and before all of the doubts and the self-esteem and the insecurities had taken over our belief system. So I really wish you knew that you are capable, that you're capable of learning, and that when you feel you can't, it's often because you aren't getting what you need from your educators or the learning materials. I know that you are capable, and if you feel that you can't, it's because you don't get the right things from your educators or from the learning material that they present you with. You can't learn if you don't have what you need to learn. So you can't learn if you don't know how to learn, but you also can't learn. So you also can't learn if you don't get specifically what you need to learn. We are all born with the ability to learn, but we have our learning needs, and they are all different specifically for every individual. So I also wish you were more accepting of your accent, and you were more accepting of the fact that speakers of a foreign language can't naturally produce all English sounds like native speakers do. I wish you knew that it's not necessary for you to sound like you are from London, or that you sound like you're from New York, or that you sound like you've been studying at Cambridge, and that you were proud of your accent instead. A foreign accent is a sign of bravery. A foreign accent shows that you have the willingness, the effort, and the determination to learn another language. And it's something to be so proud of. And for some of us, it might be very exotic because it means that you're from a different place, that you know about different cultures and know another language as well. But English learners are so judgmental of themselves and tell them that their accent has to sound like a native. And this is not necessary. Now, point number 3, what I wish you know, is that I wish you didn't feel that exams and grades determine how capable you are of using English effectively. I wish you believed that there were other ways of measuring your progress so that you could increase your motivation and your confidence. How you do in an exam or how you do in school only shows how good you are at following the system or how good you are at following an exam format. It doesn't say anything about your ability to speak, to have a conversation, to have the ability to read body language, read people, and to actually be more emotionally involved. It just shows how good you are on paper. So I really wish for you to not feel that your grades in your exams are necessary to be a yoga teacher, to be an effective yoga teacher. Then I also wish that you didn't have to wait until you have more experience or until you have another certificate for searching or taking opportunities. So your experience and your skills and knowledge look very good on paper, but this is not all you need to take an opportunity or to take on a challenge as the thing you need in order to develop your skills or your experience. Knowledge doesn't mean anything if we don't know how to put it into action, or if we don't know how to explain it to someone else, or if we don't know how to actually use this in our real life. So knowledge is very great and very necessary, but we need to learn how to put this into action. And stopping yourself from taking on opportunities can be a very big barrier to overcome. Thank you, Leda. I'm very happy to hear it's useful for you. I've got 3 more things to say about this, so I hope you can stay. And if you can't, I understand. You can watch it back on Instagram or on Facebook, and also listen to it on the podcast later. So number 5 is I really wish that you didn't feel you have to reject or postpone a job interview because you thought that the interviewer wouldn't be able to understand you, or that you thought that you wouldn't be able to understand the interviewer, or that you wish you could leave a better impression, or that you didn't know how to write a yoga teacher CV or a cover letter in English. All of these things are limiting beliefs. We don't feel like we don't have the skills or what it takes to do this. But those are things that you can practice, and they shouldn't be the reason for you to postpone or reject interviews or job opportunities. Then point number 6 is that I wish you knew that with the support of people and the community that understands you, you can feel very safe to make mistakes and develop your skills and your fluency. Because all of these people go through the same experience. They have been where you are. They understand how you feel. And that will also help you to gain confidence by itself. But practicing all these things with these people will help you to gain fluency. Point number 7 is the last one of the things that I wish you knew. And it's actually very similar to point 6, a little bit different. So if you are in a community and you had met all these people before, you would see that there are millions of other yogis and English students that go through the same challenges, that have the same experiences. And they also wish that they could share this journey with someone like you. They also want to feel less alone. They also want to feel understood. They also want the ability or the opportunity to make mistakes and learn from them. Going through this journey with other people, or sharing this journey rather with other people, can give you so much confidence in yourself, and also will take away that feeling of loneliness or the feeling of not being capable, because you see other people grow and expand while you're working with them. So what does that really say about us? I think in a world where many of us are pushed to achieve, not only by social expectations, but also by the expectations we have of ourselves, it can be really easy to stop believing in yourself. And comparing yourselves to others, pessimism, finding it difficult to make decisions or making bad decisions, anxiety, and even the desire to isolate yourself to solve all the problems alone. These are all toxic ingredients which will destroy your career. So let me repeat a few of them because I went pretty fast. But comparing yourself to others, not being able to make decisions, anxiety, feeling that you are in this alone and actually prefer doing this by yourself are toxic ingredients that will destroy your teaching career, or it will destroy the opportunities that you really have. They are right in front of you, but it destroys the sight of them, destroy the ability to see them. So I am not saying I am not saying that when you truly want something, you can make it happen, because that simply isn't always true for everyone. We all want to win the lottery or say something crazy. We all want to have really, really big things for us or make big things happening. But this isn't always possible for everyone. But I can say, if you are going to achieve something, if you have your mindset on achieving something, you will first need to break through your obstacles by identifying exactly what you need to develop, minimizing the limiting and the negative mentality, all the attitudes that you have, and getting the practice and the experience you need. That means you need to work for it. That means that you need to put yourself out, need to put yourself out in the world, that you need to show up for your development and actually put all the things that you know into action. And I'm saying that by working on all these things individually, you can find ways to succeed. Knowing the things that I have shared above, you can move forward. And your outcome will look a million times different, or even like a million different things, depending on the goals you have and where you are right now. So don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time like I have. Don't waste your time like you have already. And listen carefully. Listen to the things I'm going to share with you now that can help you overcome these barriers. So here are some things that I want to tell you today, so you don't have to waste time anymore, that I did as well, and really help to no longer do this all by yourself and be part of something bigger to grow faster, more effectively, and in a more productive manner. So if you keep delaying your projects, your wishes and your goals that you have for yourself, and especially as an international yoga teacher or yoga teacher in general, if you keep delaying them or keep postponing them, I suggest that you go to the root problem and use the tools that I gave in the Defeat Your Yoga Teacher Imposter Syndrome. So this was a webinar I did not long ago, and it was about how to overcome your yoga teacher imposter syndrome. And I gave some tools to find the root problem, to define the reason why, to also define the fears that you have, and actually overcome it. The webinar is on the continuing education membership, and you can try it for free. Then point number 2. If you reject or miss out on job opportunities because you lack experience and skills, I suggest that you define the skills that you need to improve and search for the tools to gain them. So let me repeat that. If you reject or miss out on job opportunities because you don't have the skills or you don't have the practice yet, I suggest that you define what it is that you need to improve and search for the tools that you need to gain. Think of teaching experience, vocabulary practice, yoga business knowledge. All of these things you can learn. You can learn them, you can improve them if you put in the time and the effort to actually do so. Then if you feel bad and insecure about your pronunciation and your accent, and you prefer to just quit or never start, I suggest that you search for someone or a group where you can practice speaking in a safe space. And that way you can guide and correct, they can help you and guide and correct you to gain, to gain confidence and fluency. So look for a language exchange, look for conversation classes, or look for a teacher that can help you with this. And point number 4, if you experience, and this is very common among language learners, if you do experience an identity crisis because you don't even understand yourself and or others, maybe you don't even know who you really are in this foreign language, I suggest that you go back to your self-practice, reflect on your values, the beliefs that you have, and learn the words, expressions, and the vocabulary that you need to express yourself, as you. Okay, so if you do feel like you don't know who you are in this language and you can't express your personality and who you are, go to your self-practice and learn the words that you need to express yourself. Okay? All of these things are things that we cover in the English for Yoga Teachers course and in the Continuing Education membership as well. You can find them on our website. On our website, you can find everything, all the resources that you need. There's a lot of different resources. But for now, I really would like for you to reflect on this and take some time to digest all of this information and see how much of this is true for you, and see what the points are that you need help with and what mindset shifts you can make that can help you with this. Ask yourself, what do you need? What do you really need to feel more confident, knowledgeable, and skillful to successfully teach yoga? So if you're not a member yet of the Facebook group, I would love for you to join the community. It's a community of multilingual yogis and yoga teachers that will help you make you feel more supported on your journey as an international yoga teacher. And then I mentioned at the start already, visit the Continuing Education membership, also for multilingual yoga teachers, that can really help you to keep up with your personal and your professional development. So you can find this on the website or engamembers.teachable.com and check it all out. There's a lot of different resources, and I'm pretty sure they're all very useful for you. And then if you want to, I also offer private classes. And in these private classes, we really work on your personal needs and your personal goals. So you can book a free discovery call to find out what you can improve and create an action plan to achieve the goals that you have for your career as an international yoga teacher. Especially now that 2022 is approaching, I think it's a really great time to reflect on the past year, what you have done, what you haven't done, and set new goals for 2022. So if this is something you are interested in, you can book a free discovery call and I can help you do all of these things as well. If you have any questions, any questions, let me know. I'm always here. Send me a message, Facebook, Instagram, or at annie@engaunite.com. So it's my email. And I would absolutely love to hear your reflections on this training today, because it's important that we do this from time to time, that we understand where we are and how we stop our growth, or how we are actually on track of our growth and keep going from there. So it's really nice to be here with you today. I always love connecting with you and seeing many of you here on Instagram and on Facebook. And I would absolutely love to hear from you very, very, very soon again. I'll be back next week, next Wednesday, same day, and we are still playing with the time. So vote in the Instagram stories at what time you would like this chat to be on Wednesdays, and I will take it into account when planning them next time. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see all of you very, very soon. Sending you lots of love.
You listen to Your Yoga in English, brought to you by Enga Unite, a unique online learning platform for non-native English-speaking yogis. If you liked what you learned today, I would love for you to leave a review. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us at Enga Unite. Join the community and become a member of the Teach Yoga in English support group. Check out our Continuing Education membership that offers you the chance to develop your skills and expertise through self-paced learning and live classes and training. If you want help understanding what you need to improve,
and create an action plan to achieve the goals that you have for your career as an international yoga teacher, book a free discovery call with me, Annie. You can find all the links in the show notes. This is your time to invest time in your personal and professional development.